Miss Claire Reynolds stood at the front of her fifth-grade classroom, her heart swelling with pride as she scanned the rows of eager faces, illuminated by the soft morning light filtering through the tall windows. These 24 children, filled with boundless potential, were her reason for getting out of bed every morning, even when the weight of financial burdens felt unbearable. The challenges of teaching in a struggling neighborhood marked by dwindling resources and high poverty rates were relentless. Each day, Claire juggled her responsibilities as both an educator and a single mother, fighting the constant battle to provide for her own daughter while inspiring her students to reach for their dreams. She took a deep breath, letting the fragrant aroma of chalk dust and worn-out textbooks ground her. Claire often recycled her lesson plans, mending tattered materials and crafting new projects from discarded items, hoping to cultivate creativity and resilience among her students. But as she engaged with them, her personal struggles loomed, amplifying her determination to make a difference. She understood hardship intimately, felt it in her bones. The rent was always noticeably high. The bills piled up on the kitchen counter, a reminder of the precarious balance she maintained. Today, however, something felt different. The crispness of early autumn had ushered in a sense of renewal, a call to action that ignited a spark within her. Claire began jotting down notes about each student, reflecting on their strengths and identifying ways she could support their unique needs. Her gaze fell on the back corner of the room, catching sight of Jamie Thompson, a bright girl with a contagious laugh, whose essence lit up the room even as she wore the same scuffed sneakers day after day. Jamie had a fierce determination that transcended her tender age of 10, bubbling just beneath the surface, but Claire could see the shadows of vulnerability too. Her clothes hung slightly loose, while the soles of her shoes were held together by sheer will. Claire's heart sank at the thought of Jamie's circumstances. The young girl came from a family perpetually ensnared by financial struggles. Providing even the bare necessities often overshadowed any chance of dreams taking flight. Yet, despite this, Claire noticed the flicker of hope and ambition in Jamie's eyes. Her longing to become an athlete, to defy the odds stacked against her, was something Claire deeply connected with. Deciding to take action for Jamie, Claire's resolve hardened. She recalled an incident from a few weeks back, when Jamie had jogged in place during recess, the hope of joining the school's track team in her eyes. Claire wanted to see that dream realized. She wanted Jamie to feel the exhilaration of pursuing her passion without the shackles of financial limitations dragging her down. After the final bell rang, Claire hurried to the little thrift shop just down the street, a hidden gem brimming with gently used items overlooked by others. As she stepped inside, the familiar creak of the door welcomed her into a sanctuary of discarded creativity, and she felt her heart lift with possibility. Racks of clothing and shelves containing trinkets awaited her exploration, each item teeming with stories of lives once lived. Just as Claire began to lose hope, she stumbled upon something incredible, a sturdy pair of brand-new sneakers, tucked away on a dusty shelf, as though waiting specifically for Jamie. The shoes gleamed, adorned in vibrant colors that echoed the joy Claire wished to instill within her student. They weren't luxuriously branded, instead, they represented resilience, a symbol of the dreams yet to be realized. Taking a deep breath, Claire pulled out her wallet, the weight of her decision heavy in her chest. Her heart sank when she saw the meager stack of bills still remaining. The sneakers would cost her nearly a full day's wage money that could supply groceries or cover a utility bill. Yet, in a flash, Claire envisioned Jamie's face lighting up upon receiving a gift that extended beyond footwear. The thought ignited a fire within her, overpowering her doubt. Returning to her classroom the next day, Claire buzzed with excitement and anticipation. As the students settled in, she placed the shoebox on her desk, glancing over at Jamie, who was seated among her classmates, radiating both innocence and determination. The bell rang, and Jamie entered the room, her expression shifting from curiosity to concern as she noticed Claire's tense demeanor. "Jamie, come here for a moment," Claire called, her voice softening as she lifted the box, making sure her heart was open when their eyes met. "I've got something for you." As the words filled the classroom, a collective gasp echoed in the air. A current of excitement and disbelief surged as all eyes turned towards Jamie. Time seemed to still. Claire lifted the lid of the box, revealing the bright sneakers nestled within, their vibrant colors alive with potential. Jamie's eyes widened, her mouth agape as she stepped forward slowly, shock rendering her momentarily speechless. "Miss Reynolds, are those for me?" Claire nodded, her own voice trembling as emotion washed over her. "I wanted to give you something that could help you chase your dreams." Joy erupted from Jamie as she clutched the shoes to her chest, a gleeful bounce overtaking her as she jumped around and squealed with delight, oblivious to the laughter and cheers from her classmates. Claire beamed, but tears prickled at the corner of her eyes. In this moment, the struggles they each faced of financial strain, of familial burdens faded, eclipsed by the pure light of joy and hope. As Jamie tried on the sneakers, her stride transformed, and the classroom buzzed with exhilaration. These shoes were not merely a gift, they encapsulated the bond that Claire nurtured, a shared belief that kindness could level mountains of adversity. In that small gesture, Claire found a renewed sense of purpose, interwoven with the lightness of hope shared with her students. Little did they know, this act of generosity would spark a transformative journey not just for Jamie, but for Claire and their entire community. Watching Jamie flourish filled Claire's heart with warmth, as the ripple effect of simple kindness began to unfold, illustrating the power of community ties, a connection that transcended the struggles that had once seemed insurmountable. That day marked the beginning of something monumental, bridging the gap between scarcity and abundance, connection and kindness. The months rolled on, and Claire could hardly believe the transformation taking place within her classroom. Jamie embodied a whirlwind of enthusiasm. Each day, she entered with a boundless energy, her new bright sneakers peeking out from beneath the hems of her oversized pants. As the weeks fluttered by like leaves caught in a gentle breeze, Claire reveled in the joy of watching Jamie blossom. Her laughter rang out during gym class, where she matched strides with her peers on the soccer field, fast becoming a vibrant presence that pulled others into her orbit. Among her classmates, Jamie became a catalyst for change. The more confident she grew, the more her peers noticed. Sensing this shift, some students began to inch closer, their guarded hearts softening, friendships forming like delicate binds breaking through the concrete of isolation. Laughter erupted in the classroom, bridging gaps that had previously seemed insurmountable. Each shared moment a joyous reminder that they were all in this journey together. Inspired by Jamie, Claire adopted the fervent belief that small acts of kindness could create significant opportunities. This epiphany spurred her to implement class projects that not only showcased her students' talents, but also fostered an environment of support. They crafted a community mural, bursting with color and hope, painted vibrant banners for local events, and, with a spark of entrepreneurial spirit, initiated a mini-business selling handmade crafts to the neighborhood, each project reinforcing the notion that together they could achieve greatness beyond the sum of their parts. Yet what began to germinate within Claire was a sense of purpose that extended far beyond her classroom walls. She became captivated by Jamie's relentless determination and infectious growth, a fuel that ignited her own ambitions. Networking with local businesses, volunteering at community events, and cultivating partnerships transformed into Claire's newfound mission. Each connection made was not just a handshake but a lifeline for her students, each opportunity a stepping stone towards a brighter future. On a crisp December day, as she gathered supplies for their burgeoning winter festival project, the ringing of her phone disrupted the hum of holiday cheer. The name Mr. Collins flashed across her screen, and Claire felt her heart quicken, a mixture of trepidation and anticipation thrumming through her veins. The owner of the local sporting goods store, Mr. Collins, had heard whispers about the impact Claire's efforts had on her students, particularly Jamie. Claire, his voice resonated with warmth, echoing clarity over the phone. "I've been following your work with your class, and I'm truly impressed. I'd like to offer some support for your upcoming winter festival. How about a sponsorship?" Surprise rendered Claire speechless for a moment, emotions swelling within her chest like an untamed tide. "That would be incredible, Mr. Collins. Thank you. I'd love to discuss how we could collaborate." But a sense of responsibility weighed upon her. "I want to ensure this support translates into something meaningful for the kids." "I like that passion, Claire. Let's transform this into an interactive fair where kids can not only relish the festivities but learn by running their own booths. And for those who show exceptional skills, I'd like to offer scholarships or even gear as incentives." He paused for breath, and Claire's breath caught as he continued. "Additionally, I'd like to donate $1,500 to your classroom for materials." The sky grew still within her mind, her heart racing. The financial infusion was more than she ever dared to dream, a golden opportunity that held the potential to uplift her classroom. "That's beyond generous. I can't express enough gratitude for what this will mean for my students." As they laid the groundwork for the festival, Claire felt a revival in her spirit, a renewed purpose blossoming within her like the vibrant decorations they planned to drape across the school. With resources at her disposal, she envisioned nurturing creativity and fostering an entrepreneurial spirit among her students. The prospect of abundant supplies, heartfelt decorations, and enticing incentives made her pulse race with anticipation. When she broke the news to her class the following day, elation erupted like confetti thrown into the air. Jamie stood tall, beaming with an incandescent pride that illuminated the room. "This is amazing, Miss Reynolds. We can make it the best winter festival ever." As the festival date drew closer, Claire observed her students transform. They worked tirelessly, their eagerness palpable, excitement threading through every shared idea tossed about like snowflakes in rhythm with a winter wind. Collaboration became their song, and Jamie emerged as a natural leader, her innate enthusiasm contagious. She coordinated group efforts, balancing the role of guiding presence while celebrating her friends' strengths. On the day of the festival, the school transformed into an exuberant tableau, a vibrant hub of community spirit. Local families flocked, kids dashed around wide-eyed and alive with excitement, and laughter bubbled up like a bubbling stream flowing through the heart of the school. Claire stood on the periphery, her heart swelling with pride as she watched Jamie run a booth dedicated to handcrafted ornaments, each piece telling a story of resilience and creativity. "Look at this, Ms. Reynolds," Jamie called out, her spirit infectious as she showcased her brightly colored creations. "We've already sold so much. Everybody's so happy." Claire couldn't help but smile back, a warmth suffusing her heart. "You've done an incredible job, Jamie. Truly, all of you have. It's your hard work that made this a reality." As the festival unfolded, whispers of gratitude began circulating among the community members. One by one, they approached Claire, expressing how the festival had rekindled connections that had once frayed. Among them was Mrs. Johnson, a local artist and small business owner who stopped by Claire's booth, her eyes alight with excitement. "Dear, I am just so impressed. The energy here today is electric. I've been looking to engage youth in my next art project. Would you be willing to help?" Claire's heart soared. What a splendid opportunity. "Absolutely. I think our students would gain so much from your experience. And while we're at it, I'd like to offer some art scholarships for a few students who show promise," Mrs. Johnson added, her enthusiasm ringing bright. As she navigated the details of future collaborations, Claire was struck by a profound realization. The festival had done more than create a delightful afternoon. It had forged connections and opened doors for her students that expanded far beyond their immediate horizons. Returning to her classroom in the week that followed, Claire could hardly contain her excitement. The wave of kindness that she had shown Jamie had blossomed into an extraordinary outpouring of gratitude and opportunities for all the kids. Jamie was already tossing out ideas faster than Claire could catch them, her newfound confidence radiating like sunlight in the classroom. "You know, Miss Reynolds," she began one afternoon, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, "if we could create a program that encourages kids to support one another in their dreams, it could change even more lives." Claire felt her heart light with delight. "I love that idea. Let's make it happen." The commitment crystallized in her voice, a unified belief dawning upon them. "We can turn this into a cultural legacy of kindness." In that moment, Claire comprehended the true nature of her journey, how small gestures of kindness could bloom into harvests of transformation. With hope enveloping her spirit, she knew they had merely started scratching the surface of what they could achieve together. As spring shyly approached winter, she felt a renewed sense of purpose in nurturing this budding community of generosity and support. From Jamie's leadership to the collective enthusiasm of the classroom, Claire embraced the knowledge that nothing was out of reach as long as they remained rooted in compassion. In the hearts of her students and herself, a new chapter unfurled, a chapter filled with the promise of kindness, cultivating resilience and togetherness, all while acknowledging that the world around them was only as vibrant as the love they chose to sow within it. And so, resolutely walking down this path they carved together, Claire felt ever so grateful for the extraordinary journey of growing hearts, hands intertwined, as they ventured forth into a luminous tomorrow. With spring's arrival came brighter days and higher ambitions. The classroom echoed with ideas, enthusiasm fueling plans for future projects to further the whole community. Under Jamie's leadership, students brainstormed how they could develop mentorship programs, art workshops, and athletic clinics where everyone could shine in their unique way. Claire marveled at the empowerment unfolding before her eyes. It was as though Jamie's transformation had sparked a wildfire of potential, encouraging each child to step into the light. Claire's heart brimmed as she watched her class solidify their roles. They weren't just classmates anymore, they were a community, roots intertwined, growing stronger as they shared, celebrated, and lifted one another up. The mural they created in the previous fall hung proudly in the school hallway, a reflection of the collaborative spirit that thrived among them. Claire remembered her own journey, one that had been fraught with uncertainty, but blessed with moments of kindness and clarity. She was more than just Jamie's teacher. She was a mentor guiding these kids towards leaving their mark on the world. And Jamie, with her heart-swelling courage, had become an embodiment of the change Claire sought to instill in all her students. As her students prepared for their upcoming outreach projects, Claire felt a sense of completeness wash over her. They were not just focused on academic achievement, but were committed to fostering a culture of support for one another that she knew would carry with them long after they left her classroom. Together, they were writing a story of resilience fueled by dreams and kindness, a story that would resonate beyond their school walls, offering both hope and inspiration to others. When she received another call from Mr. Collins a few weeks later, her heart danced with anticipation. "Miss Reynolds, I've got news that I think will excite you." His voice was bright with enthusiasm. "We're launching a community sports program this summer, and we want your students to take the lead. Jamie has been an inspiration, and I believe that her skills and those of her classmates can set a precedent for younger generations." Claire's chest swelled with pride. Jamie was becoming a role model, and now they had the chance to further extend that ripple of empowerment. "Mr. Collins, that sounds incredible. I'd love to get my class involved and help create something truly special." Days turned into weeks as meetings became the norm, Jamie and her classmates spearheading efforts to plan the program. They brainstormed activities, enlisted volunteers from the community, and devised strategies to ensure that it was not only fun but inclusive. It was more than a sports program. It was an opportunity to teach valuable life skills: leadership, teamwork, respect, and above all, the spirit of giving back. When summer arrived, the program kicked off with boundless enthusiasm and gleeful faces. Claire stood on the sidelines, her heart swelling with the knowledge she had fueled a powerful metamorphosis. Jamie, like a comet blazing across the sky, led her peers in an opening ceremony that celebrated every student's contribution. The sound of cheering families echoed against the blue sky, reminding Claire that the changes they nurtured had grown tremendously. As the weeks progressed, Claire continued to witness an amazing evolution in her students. They didn't just participate, they ignited a movement that transcended age barriers. Claire felt a gratitude that ran deep within her soul, knowing she had helped pave the way for each child to reach their fullest potential, not just through academics but through service, kindness, and love for one another. At that program's closing ceremony, Jamie stood proudly on stage, her voice echoing through the community center. "We are so proud of what we've accomplished together. This is just the beginning." Her words resonated, reminding everyone present that their journey towards support and resilience had only begun. And in that moment, with tears brimming in Claire's eyes and her heart full, she cherished the undeniable truth that the future belonged to these bright, caring, and courageous kids, her shining stars, ready to illuminate the world with their shared light and kindness. As they stood united, hands entwined, the dawn of extraordinary possibilities awaited them, each ready to leave a mark, not just on their community but on one another, forever transformed by the spirit of generosity they embraced so fervently. As the sun began its descent, the captivating colors spilled across the horizon like an artist's palette, warming the faces of Claire's students who gathered in the community garden. Claire marveled at the little sanctuary they had created together, an oasis of flowers, thriving plants, and laughter where the essence of kindness had taken root. The garden represented not just growth in the literal sense, but a blossoming of relationships, community spirit, and an unwavering belief in the power of compassion. Claire had watched as her students transformed into ambassadors of kindness, taking their initiatives beyond the confines of the classroom and seeding hope throughout the community. Encouraged by the success of the kindness projects, Claire organized regular meetings where the students could brainstorm new ideas. Jamie's excitement was boundless as she initiated projects alongside her classmates, showcasing a newfound confidence and leadership that continued to inspire everyone around her. With each passing week, they gathered to discuss ways to connect with more families, to expand the reach of their initiatives, and to create moments of joy in others' lives. "Miss Reynolds," Jamie announced one afternoon, her enthusiasm filling the room. What if we organized a weekly story time in the garden with the little kids from the neighborhood? We could share our favorite books and maybe even do some gardening activities with them. Claire's heart filled with pride at Jamie's leadership. It was remarkable to see how her once reserved student had blossomed into such a vibrant presence, carrying the torch of their mission forward. That's an excellent idea, Jamie. We can start small, maybe a few stories and some gardening tips. Let's plan it out. The classroom buzzed with energy as the students dived headfirst into planning the weekly story time. They devised a list of books, created colorful flyers to distribute throughout the neighborhood, and set aside time each week to nurture young minds while simultaneously instilling a love for nature. On their first storytime day, Claire arrived a little early, her heart racing with anticipation. Setting up the garden with Jamie and their classmates, she could feel the energy shift. Children from the neighborhood, clutching their parents' hands and bouncing with excitement, began filtering in. The garden transformed into a gathering of laughter, joy, and community connection. "Look at everyone, Ms. Reynolds," Jamie exclaimed, her wide smile an infectious beacon. "They're all here for us." As they led the group in reading, the garden filled with laughter and wonder. Jamie guided the younger children through interactions, asking them questions about the stories and drawing them into discussions about the different flowers blooming around them. The little ones marveled at the vibrant petals and bright colors, their imaginations taking flight. After the reading session, the students invited the children to plant seeds, small but mighty symbols of potential. As they knelt in the rich soil, they shared lessons about patience, kindness, and nurturing not only the flowers but their bonds as a community. Claire watched with a full heart as they worked hand in hand, laughter echoing through the garden like music. That day not only strengthened the ties between different ages, it also imbued confidence and a sense of belonging within everyone present. Claire felt a wave of fulfillment wash over her. She had planted the seeds of compassion within her students, and they were now sowing them generously within their community. As the weeks rolled on, the storytime sessions became a staple in the community, drawing more families each time. The garden flourished, not just with plants and flowers but with the rhythm of friendly conversations and bonds forged in joy. Each week, Claire and her students adapted their approach, crafting nature-themed stories that paired perfectly with their hands-on gardening activities. In addition to the joy of reading and planting, they began to integrate art into their sessions. Inspired by the whimsical designs on the kindness kits, they initiated a Painting with Nature Day, where children created beautiful art pieces using leaves and flowers as stamps. The vibrant artwork soon adorned the walls of the community garden, serving as a testament to the idea that creativity and kindness could indeed coexist beautifully. "Look at the colors!" Jamie shouted, giggling as she stamped a flower onto her canvas. "We're making a masterpiece together, Miss Reynolds." Claire felt her heart swell witnessing Jamie's enthusiasm, and the way it fueled everyone around her. It was astonishing how far they had come since the Kindness Day had first ignited a spark of hope. Each brushstroke became a symbol of transformation, a reminder of the immeasurable impact they could have as a united community. As the summer faded and the leaves began to turn, Claire and her students huddled together, deep in conversation about what more they could accomplish. Their garden had become a sanctuary, and a hub of kindness questions abounded about how to adapt their projects to fit the changing seasons. "What about a kindness festival as the weather cools? We could celebrate everything we've done this year," suggested one student, a glimmer of excitement sparking in their eyes. Claire felt delighted at the idea. It could be the perfect way to bring everyone together. With Jamie leading the charge, they brainstormed what a kindness festival would entail. They envisioned fun activities, communal meals, and sharing the stories of the community's journey toward kindness. As plans solidified, Claire couldn't help but contrast the blossoming of their garden with the growth of her students and the flourishing sense of community that enveloped them. The day of the Kindness Festival arrived, and Claire felt a rush of emotion as she surveyed the teamwork that had turned their plans into a vivid reality. Banners flown high with messages of hope adorned the garden, stalls filled with art created by the young storytellers, and families arriving, their excitement palpable. As children bobbed about in colorful attire, giggling with delight, Claire stepped back to take in the joyous atmosphere. She spotted Jamie coordinating games, her infectious energy acting as a magnet for their peers. It was evident that they had all learned so much from their journey together: cooperation, leadership, and, most importantly, heartfelt connections. "Miss Reynolds, come join us." Jamie beckoned, her joy radiating like sunlight. "We're about to start the first story time. You have to read with us." Claire felt warmth flooding her heart, and for a moment, she was overcome with gratitude for every twist and turn in this journey. She joined Jamie, reading stories that had become treasured within their sessions, themes of friendship, hope, and unwavering determination echoing in unison with the laughter surrounding them. By the end of the day, the Kindness Festival had exceeded Claire's expectations. Conversations blossomed across tables filled with food prepared by local families. Laughter mingled beautifully with music played by a neighborhood band, and the vibrant artwork painted opinions of the students reflected the motivation to foster joy within their community. As they concluded the day with gratitude and shared hopes for the future, Jamie's eyes sparkled with promise. "We've built something beautiful," she said, her voice filled with awe as she glanced across the gathered crowd. "This is just the beginning. We can keep this kindness going forever." Claire enveloped Jamie in a proud embrace, looking over at the energy and excitement sparking around them. "You're absolutely right, Jamie. Together we can create a lasting legacy of kindness that will ripple through generations." With arms intertwined, the community stood strong, a testament to the extraordinary power of each heart entwined in their journey of compassion. The critical realization echoing in the gentle breeze: kindness, once planted, grows roots that break barriers and foster deep connections, nurturing a vibrant future bursting with hope, connection, and love. As the sunlight began to fade once more, Claire inhaled deeply, feeling the inextricable bond of love and kindness that had woven into the very fabric of their community. Looking down at Jamie and her classmates, she felt a deep certainty they had all grown together, not just in gardening, but in the hearts they shared. And under the vibrant hues of twilight, Claire couldn't help but envision that this journey of togetherness would flourish onward, transformative and rooted in the beautiful legacy they had created with rich layers of kindness, always reminding one another that the simplest act could ignite the most extraordinary change.